So another thing that we need to review is graphing parabolas, how to find the vertex of the parabola if we know the zeros. So I have two cases that we're going to go over in this video. This is the kind of parabola that opens up. So I have f of x equals x squared plus 10x plus 16. I want to find the zeros, which means I need to factor that. So I'm starting to think about numbers that multiply to equal 16, but also add to equal 10. I have 4 times 4, but those don't add up to equal 10. I have 8 times 2 is 16. Oh, and they add to equal 10. They're both positive. Okay, so I think it's x plus 8 times x plus 2, which tells me some pretty important information, right? It tells me that one of the zeros is when x equals negative 8. So I know that one of the zeros of this function is right here at x equals negative 8. I also know the other zero is when x equals negative 2, which is over here. And finally I know it opens up because there's no negative symbol in front of the x squared. So I have the vertex is down here somewhere. So now I need to figure out, well, where is that vertex? Oh, I think I mislabeled my graph here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, sorry. This is 8. Oops. And this is 10 here. Okay, so now I need to figure out where the vertex is. And remember that these things are symmetrical. So the vertex is exactly halfway from 2 to 8. I could do 2 plus 8 is 10 divided by 2 is 5. But you can see that it's negative 5 is right here in the center. So I know the vertex is along there somewhere. So I could take negative 5 and I could plug it in here and do negative 5 plus 8. Let's do that. Negative 5 plus 8 times negative 5 plus 2 is 3 times negative 3, or negative 9. So, but I could also know that if I'm going over 3 units, I go down 9 units, because 3 times 3 is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. There's the vertex. And so then I go over 1 and up 1, you go over 2 and up 4, over 3 and up 9, and I get that. Remember, when we're graphing a parabola, however much you go over, you square that amount to figure out how much to go up. And then finally, I can say that in vertex form, this would be x, let's see here, plus 5, because 5 is the x coordinate of the vertex, and then minus 9. So x plus 5 squared minus 9. Now, when it opens down, there's a little bit more work that you need to do because there's a negative symbol in front of this x squared. In order to factor the function, I first need to factor out the negative. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1 and rewrite it in parentheses. So I get positive x squared minus 6x plus 5. And now I can factor that. I just have to remember there's a negative symbol out here. And I'm looking for numbers that multiply to positive 5 but add to negative 6. And that's negative 5 times negative 1. So it's x minus 5 times x minus 1, and there's a negative. But the zeros are the same. So it opens down, but one of the zeros is at x equals 5. The other zero is at x equals 1. So let me go over here and plot those two things. So those are the zeros. It opens down, so the vertex is up here somewhere. So now I'm going to figure out, well, halfway between 1 and 5 is right here at 3. So I could do negative, and then 3 minus 5 times 3 minus 1, which is negative, and then what is that, negative 2 times 2, so that is 4. But of course, if I go over 2, I should go up 4. And then I can make my parabola open downward, and again, it's opening downward because of the negative symbol on the front of it. But the vertex is at 3, 4. So finally, I can write the equation of that as a negative symbol. Can't forget that because it opens down. And then it's x minus 3 squared, and then plus 4. So try those 4 problems for today's assignment and do the exit ticket.